We know that if we want to be a great place to work, there are some must haves that have to be in place. One of them is you have to have great employees, great doctors, and committed leadership team. And we have that at Fairfax. We know that already. But the second part of it is you have to have a commitment to changing the culture. And we're just starting on that journey.
Cultural beliefs, the 6 cultural beliefs, are so very important to our success as we move forward in the Inova Health System, Inova Fairfax Medical Campus, and in all of Inova. We're really good at, in healthcare, of doing actions and results. Something happens, we do a task list, and we do actions, and we get results. But at the end of the day, that's not sustainable. So what we want to do is impact the experience that people have to change their beliefs. I, as a chief medical officer, have some great ideas of how to fix things, but the people that have better ideas than me are the frontline staff, because they know where the workarounds are, they know what happens, they know what normally happens, and they know what should happen. And those are 3 completely different things. And as the more you talk to the frontline staff, they'll give you the answers, and all we need to do is support those answers and create policies and procedures and standard work that gets us to the outcome we want.
What happened was we had one of our best departments have a serious near miss around patient identification. I mean, it was almost catastrophic.
Patient identification is one of the most important things that we do. It prevents us from making mistakes, and it also helps give the right therapies and the right treatments to the right person at the right time.
The call to action was done in response to some errors around patient identification. And patient identification is so very important to all of us in reducing harm.
And so the call to action was actually a campus-wide initiative involving multiple people across the entire campus to be involved with looking at how could we improve patient identification, but how could we make it very real so that everybody embraced that this was important to them.
In our old culture, what we call the C1 culture, the admin council team would have gone to a meeting room, sat around the table, basically tried to identify what the barriers were and what the issues were, and then created some solutions. But you know what? We're not in that culture anymore, right? We're on our cultural beliefs journey, and we're living in the C2 culture. And the C2 behaviors insist that you go to the experts and you ask them for honest feedback, what we call tell me.
And so we developed an idea of using skits that were modeled after the errors that we had in the organization. And some were novel, and some were modeled after the errors that we experienced. We reached about 2,500 people in the organization, all within a week to a week and a half.
So what was the outcome? Well, actually, it was awesome. The staff really got into it. We were delighted with the response. Not only did we get the focused feedback that we needed around patient identification, but we also we got lots of priority of ideas of what we needed to do first, and a real understanding of how we could make this better.
My team reacted to the patient identification and the call to action enthusiastically and wholeheartedly. And then in return, I hold myself accountable and then take what their concerns are to the other level. I address it with the clinical directors. I continue to address it in a leadership manner, which help us all achieve as a team what we're here to do.
The frontline staff had great ideas about how to make the identifiers bigger letters or other ways and process that we couldn't even think about until we did the skit, and then they gave us amazing feedback. I truly believe that our iOS 2.0, which is our cultural journey, is the best thing that we could have done at Inova, and that this is a 2-year, 4-year project. And this skits that we did on the 2 identifier was an excellent example of our cultural belief journey.
And I think it's really important for us to all take a collective step back to acknowledge that challenges are indeed part of the journey. And again, it speaks to the highly reliable organization and our ability to be able to be resilient, because we are going to have setbacks, we are going to have challenges. But if we go back to the results pyramid that we all learned when we began this cultural transformation, it is through the experiences that we share that we are going to impact the beliefs that we hold, which in turn help us to modify the actions that we take and ultimately help us to achieve the results that we all desire. And that is to provide the most safe, quality, compassionate care to our patients every time, every touch.
I think it was a great start, but we have a lot of work ahead of us. We cannot move forward without this in place, because we are on that journey to have not only a great place to work, but a great place for our patients.